Oh, hello. How you doing? Good afternoon, evening, morning, or night, wherever you are. Um, I hope you had a good day so far, or are you going to have a good day? Uh, just introductions. I'm Danger of Depth. Otherwise known as Andy, and oftentimes I'll be streaming a lot of Flight Simulator, but also other games. But this series really is about. Um, Sharing some knowledge about flight sim and also learning. So one of the things we did last week was the first chapter of Flight Simulator X book, which was really about basic flight. But the idea was to start forward, stepping forward, and it looks like a lot of you actually enjoyed that. So we're going to carry on with that idea. But today's short video, maybe short, depends how it goes, is to configure the yoke and the honeycomb yoke and the honeycomb throttle pack for one new plane. So let's get on with that, shall we? The plane we're looking at really is well, actually is just flight PA-28 Arrow Mark IV, and it's around the original plane for this was 1960. It's not basic, but it's very sort of tactile in its approach, nicely modelled, and it's a payware plane. So the reason I bought it was because of and you'll see when we get to the cockpit, it's very analog, and not a lot of well, there's no GPS, although you can switch it on if you want to. Generally, you wouldn't because kind of you're learning jet basic flight, but also treat yourself like you're in 1965 and you just got this lovely new plane and you're having a bit of a flying lesson. So one of the things I did notice though is both the yoke and the quadrant weren't really configured right. So we're just going to step through that for a little while, and maybe we'll go for a little test flight here and there. But so this is the plane. Actually, we'll select the plane and before we go. Going towards North Weald, just because it's easy. We've got some real-time weather going on, and that's partly cloudy at the moment. With I don't believe it's oh no, this is somewhere else. So wait till the weather settles down before it tells us the truth. So we'll have that plane. Let's step into the PA-28 and see where that goes. Okay, so we'll have you. We're already at. So North Weald is where is it? In Essex. It's a familiar airport for us. It's one when we do a lot of touch and goes at. We're not really going to do much flight action today. We may take a loop around the track, try and keep out of the way of everyone else while we're doing that. But today's is about configuring the controls if that goes right, and we'll go from there. We'll actually start on a parking spot because that means we'll have a cold and dark airplane, which basically means that the engine's off, all the electronics are off, and if you can, I'll swap to another camera shortly, and we'll basically be able to turn the whole thing on from the yoke and the quadrant. But first off, we're going to concentrate on the yoke because there's buttons on there, and we'll go from there. So let's get in there. So I don't know, 58. And, okay, so that was our departure. We may never depart. And the weather conditions, we've actually got a piece of software called Weather Force from Rex. Pulled it up, and what that does is it talks to Flight Sim and injects even more realistic weather. We're just I'm testing it out really. I bought it a couple of weeks ago, and the way you use that is when you're in a flight, and we'll show you that shortly. You set it to clear skies because that's what the software expects. You click fly. You may regret time. Time is real time, so over here it's 3:30. Let's go to Rex Force, and then what you do is you click start when you've started the flight, and it will it'll go off, get your location. It actually use for North Weald, it uses Stansted Airport, which is fair enough. And what it will do is get local weather, and then you'll see just at the top there it says injecting just here, and what it's going to do is be injecting the weather into the game. I I think it's really good, but it's also a little bit flaky in places. So we'll see how that goes. On the PA28, I think it's a really good model. Actually, completely recommend it. It's 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 just got all the things. If you want to learn to fly in a realistic aircraft, uh, it's worth the purchase for sure. And you can get a couple of different versions of it. One of them's got a turbo, I think. But let's so this is I'll just take you a quick look around here, around the cockpit and see what's going on actually. So usual what they call it, six pack. So all your artificial horizons, your altitude, the VFR, and some other indicators. Your flight level, make sure that's off. Sorry, and heading and vertical speed indicator. Below that, you've got tons of stuff. I mean, look, if I get the yoke out of the way for you, yeah, tons of stuff. So it's all off at the moment. So every dial is basically flat. What we can do is actually set a barometric pressure, and that will set the altitude correctly. That's literally click B on the keyboard. These are the ones that kill you, the lack of fuel. That has actually got me a couple of times now on different planes, but on this one particularly, because you have to, if you're playing it right, you have two tanks. You've got a left tank and a right tank, and you're supposed to rotate them in flight because you end up using all the left, and then you slowly go down because you don't realise why. All you've got is no fuel. If you're lucky, you spot it early enough, you can flip over to the other tank. If not, you land on the ground. Hopefully, find a nice place to land, and you get going again. Or if you're really stuck, there's, I suppose it's simulator and also a game. So there's a little bit of a cheat where you can come up here and you can add fuel back in. So we got 100% fuel. I'm not going to do that now, but I think every airfield, at least the ones with decent amounts of sizes, have got fuel facilities. And you basically wheel over to there on the taxiway and fuel up. So one of the big things that I liked about this particular plane model is the amount of radio kit that's in here. So you've got all the comms, nav, individual comms. I love the wear on these buttons. It's so nicely modelled. It kind of actually tells you which ones to turn on as well, because if they're worn out, they must be popular. It's a basic guess. This is your ident when you're in the skies, and over here you've got simple GPS, and below that it's a Bendix device. But basically, what this can do is tell you the distance to your nearest radio beacon that you've selected. We won't do any of this today. We can do it again in a future flight for sure. Nice feature on this plane also is there's an iPad sitting over here, which spoils realism, but you can turn it off. And if I pop outside, you'll see the chocks and tie downs are on the plane. Where is it? You just about see them just there. I'll zoom in a bit. There you go. So the chocks are down on the plane. So if you've got this model and you can't go anywhere, you've probably got these still switched on. So even the parking brakes and everything else is off. That's probably it. Actually, there's two things. Actually, there's that, and there's active pause, which has caught me before because it doesn't really indicate that it's in it. You just go, I'm going as fast as I can. What's going on? And literally, you hit yourself in the head by saying, well, that's pretty dumb, wasn't it? So this is a lovely looking plane. I mean, look at the modelling on this, the detail. I don't work for this company, but I bought it on the basis of some other review, and I think it was on sale for about £3 off. I think it's probably £18 new, something like that. But Just Flight, a really good company as well. So okay, so let's get back in the cockpit and see what we're doing. And you can, like I said, you can take off the chocks. We'll do that now, why not? And you can turn the yoke back on. I actually do an awful lot of GA flying, to be honest, and haven't really touched too much on the bigger jets. To be honest, I could certainly do that, but it's not something that interests me right now. I think I'm really acting as if I don't know how to fly, but also acting as if I don't know how to fly in the plane as well. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so let's get rid of this iPad. So really, that's an overview of the plane. It wasn't part of the exercise today, but I hope that was useful. Let's swap to the camera view so you can see the quadrant and throttle camera. So this I've set up. So what we've got here is the honeycomb. I think it's called honeycomb alpha. And what should happen, and I think mostly does, get rid of the yoke. And I really want to just finish off the configuration of this. Zoom in, get rid of you as well. So you can see there's battery and out alternator, and these should flip when I do that. So that's the alternator button here. Actually, I'm going to do it like that. I can't see it. Okay, so that's the alternator, and oftentimes, actually, you can see it in the plane. They're swapped round from physical, but since they're marked up correctly, let's make the most of that. And then we got battery, so that's all good. So that basically, you can see the whole plane comes to life when we put battery on. Alternator will kick in when we've got power. And when I powered that up, you can see the fuel here came up and says it's okay. So those two buttons are fine. Avionics bus doesn't really do much in this plane. Then below that, you've got lighting around the plane itself. So we've got a beacon light. And if we go outside, that should be that light here on the end of the tail. And it isn't, funny enough, because it is not lighting up. So we need to map that. So the beacon light is actually this rotating beacon switch. And we can't switch it because I don't think it's actually connected. No, see, it's just not changing. Something's mapped wrong there completely. So what we're going to do is find out where that is in the controls, and it's driving me nuts not being right. So because we're going to change the configuration of the default settings because of this plane, what we need to do is really make a copy of the settings. So we've got this alpha flight control. That's quite a nice shot of it there. Maybe you can just about see that on the side. Let's move me down a bit. That was weird. Lots of gravity going on. There we go. That's better. Okay. What we're going to do really now is work out what's going on there. So beacon. I'm searching for beacon. Beacon light on and off is not set, although it says that button 21 does it. So button 21 is actually that button. So it should be fine. Let's get rid of that. Validate. Oh yeah, hang on a sec. Didn't do that, did I? So we're going to create a copy of this before we mess about with it. So I'm calling it Piper Arrow 28, and you can see already I've done some on the throttle quadrant up the top there. So duplicate, and it won't make sense to name. You really shouldn't have to do per plane configurations, but to be honest, so far a couple of payware ones I've found have not every button's wrong, but enough buttons are wrong to need manual configuration. So there we go. Let's get rid of this. Clear that input. And validate. Set strobes will come back to. I'm sure that's broken as well. So why didn't that work? Let's flick it on. Button 21. This is exactly the same as it was, wasn't it? Yeah, you got to be. It's weird actually. You set it, but because this is I'm trying to do it so you can see it. Because this is a rocker switch, if it's left up, it's still triggering the record in the game, or the recorder, the record key, so you have to flick it off again. So best plan then is go into the throttle settings and tell it, forget everything, please, especially the buttons. So let's have a look. Lights, make sure we're under the quadrant. Lights, exterior lights. Oh, look at this lot. Clear current, validate. Clear current, input, validate. I like the way it validates. It's very French. Validate. It'd be nice if this was just one big screen. You could just click on everything in one go. It's got way too many buttons, I suppose, to be able to do that. What else could be doing bad things? Brakes. Parking brakes should be okay, actually. So are we happy now? Excellent. Click to go outside. Light comes on. Yay! That's good. Right, so we got that. Landing light is all good. Taxi lights. I don't think there's any indicator of that on this plane. Just a quick look outside. I don't think maybe we haven't got taxi lights. Spin round. So apparently it's clear weather at Stansted, so we've got lovely clear skies. It's funny because I'm not a huge mile away from it. It's grey here, so I don't believe you. Anyway, so I don't think we've got taxi lights on this particular plane. That's okay. Picking this in. Then we've got navigation lights. I can hear something clicking. Oh, there it is. There. Oh, so navigation lights. Cool. So I don't suppose you can see that. They're probably the lights on the end of the. Yeah, they're the lights on the end of the wings, which we can try and get to. There we go. Right. So strobe. There we go. We've got a strobe light. Can't see it. Not got every feature for sure. Oh, okay, so that's actually wired to. What is that? Okay, so there's that. We're running out of buttons on the yoke now. So let's have a look over here. We've got probably can't see it, but right over on the right hand side there is a control for magnetos. So basically your starter. So that should go to right, left. So that's right, left with magneto and both. And then if we hold the brakes on, sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Probably need to push the choke up a bit and press start. We have a plane. Okay, pop the yokes on. Let's make sure everything there is working. Yep, backwards and forwards. I've got rudder pedals as well, so you won't be able to see them, but you'll see them move when I do this. So that's cool. Okie dokie. Right, you are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reposition the camera, and we'll come back to this. Just one sec. Okay, reposition stuff. So you should be able to see what I can see here. So let's see how we're doing on this. So throttle. This plane's simple, so it's got a single throttle, and we've got the plane hopefully in parking. These lights should light up, but I think that's a driver issue. So we'll have to reinstall the driver after the show. But it's all working. It just doesn't have actual lights. So there's that. We've already done rudder, so we're happy with that. This is set for propellers. All right, we just killed the engine. Yeah, we just killed the engine. That's okay. It's sort of struggling to keep going, I think, by the sounds of it. Yeah, throttle it up, it might pick. There we go. Pick it up again. That guy outside's very patient, for sure. Okay, so they're all good. You can see these stubs here. They're for you can add extra handles. If you haven't seen this equipment before, it comes with quite a few bits and pieces you can plug into it, and try and get rid some of it. So these things you can pop them in wherever you like. We can have two propeller speed ones and two throttles, which is cool. One for each engine or one for each control. So that is smart, very configurable. They also come with a whole load of jet controls as well, which is smart. Not actually didn't use that yet, so we'll get back to it. Right, so job of the day, let's work our way through this. So you'll see these very professional labels that are sitting here, and maybe you can read them, maybe you can't. Right, And what are we trying to do? So we've got all these buttons down here. Let's get the choke out of the way. We're probably going to kill the plane while we do it. It might just sit there. Got the parking brake on, even though it's not indicated. So you can actually see that down just below my feet. Just see it wiggling just at the middle there. That's all cool. Which is good because I was going to be somewhere in Essex, sort of Harlow way, probably by now. Okay, so what are we looking at? So fuel, first one is anti-ice, which is there. Which alternate air, anti-ice, kind of. It hasn't got an anti-ice feature anyway, the plane. That's good. Window de-icing. Yeah, you'll be lucky. This is like a luxury item, so you're not getting that. Pitot heat, all good. So how come I deleted all of these and now they're okay? Is it configured to the wrong? That makes no sense. It's gone back. Oh, no, it still sets the Piper Arrow. Should be alright. Okie dokie. Must be like an overlaying control set. Pitot heat we just did. Cabin light. That's always a fun one. See if we can see it. Oh, it's this red one, isn't it? Yeah, where's that? Something's changing. No, maybe not. Okay. We've still got battery power, haven't we? This plane won't have any battery by the time I'm finished. But that's okay. So is that doing anything? Is anything else triggering? No. Okay. Let's see if we can find that. So controls. We're on the right one. Cabin. Excuse my type. Oh, what's that on the A? This looks like a dyno tape now. Toggle cabin lights. Probably just that, isn't it? Because if you do if you do toggle with the rockers, it's not the right answer. You end up with it locked or jittering backwards and forwards as it tries to go. Okay, I've set it. Okay, I'm stopping. Okay, I've set it. And yeah, it looks quite funny in the plane though because it jitters backwards and forwards as well. So not useful, but and it's all down to the cycling of the. That's actually, I have to say, that is not a good bit of texturing on the light. It looks a bit, it's terrible, really, isn't it? But the rest of it's really good. Luckily, you don't look up too often. So there's that one done. Fuel pump. That's in here. Okay, fuel pump. Not doing anything. Good. Can't need that. I think working through these is useful, even if a lot of people have seen it before. There'd be someone out there that hasn't done this. Toggle fuel pump one, set electric fuel pump. It's got to be that, I should think. Scan. I love the way it's joystick button 42 out of 1,000,000. What is it? 47 buttons. It's crazy. Go back, zoom, and it sounds like a fuel pump coming on. It's not actually flicking the switch over there. I can hear it. So what's something else is holding that back, isn't it? Oh, maybe. Did it move? Yeah, it's not right. I can hear it coming on, so that's okay. But it would be nice to actually switch the fuel pump over. I wonder what else has got a fuel pump on it. Maybe we should search and see what that input is being used for as well. Oh, search by input, scan. Nope. Yeah, don't know. Pretty sure I've seen that move on and off before now. It might be the driver issue that's causing that. Fuel pump. Your damper, I don't think does anything on this plane. Nope. And then parking brake we've already seen working. And actually the most important one. So that's cool. Undercarriage, I don't think we'll see that until we're actually flying because it will just fall on Yeah, nice. The undercarriage is really cool on the throttle, and I like the way. Actually, if we go for a flight in a minute, actually, I will. Um, if you're not throttled up completely, when you lower the undercarriage, it takes quite a while, and it will bring down one or two, like left wheel or the front wheel first, and then the right wheel will come down because the hydraulics aren't there. I thought that was a cool feature. Okay, is that flaps there? Probably is. Let's have a quick look outside, see what the flaps are doing. Oh, it helps if you look outside at the flaps. Okay, so this plane does not like you having flaps down without the undercarriage. It's a feature, not a bug. I think there's an auto, that yellow light there. You can just see it, just about. Probably not on the string, but there's an auto extend, which is, if you're coming low and slow, it'll actually try and bring the undercarriage down for you. Oh, yeah, it does. But you can turn that off and go up and then look down again. There's a little switch here, I think. That's true. Is that right? I think that's it. So no indication at all, but that I think will turn off that yellow light, which means it's not trying to automatically put down the undercarriage for you. Haven't found it do that, but you can open the doors. I'll zoom out a bit. You can open the doors out here, but it catches you because you go, what? Why didn't it open? It's because there's another lever up here that you have to unlatch, and then you can push the door out. Push out. Somewhere around here. There we go. And that's nice. There's also like a cargo flap down here, which you can do if you want to do role play fully. So very nicely done. And lock that. So all right, let's go for a little flight. I think. If we get back in the pilot seat, would be a good idea. Okay, this guy's gonna have to get out of the way. So I'll teach you a lesson. Alright, no chocks, no tails, we're all good. We're going to head off. Which way are we going to go? I could look at a map, but I'm just going to go without telling anyone. We'll go up that way and then come onto the runway there. And you'll notice that you basically don't have any of the compasses and things on this screen anymore. Quite like the idea of if it's external, it's for prettiness rather than anything else. Not where you should fly from. I think it's good if you're just learning to land and trying to get it right. It's quite nice to pop outside and just see how you're doing. But okay, so we got choke. Let's give this plane some life. Lost my propeller button. Actually, that's not a bad view. I might put that on there. I'll flick you over to full gameplay because it's Right, so we know parking brake's still on. Put the brakes on down here. Parking brake off. Hopefully we'll start moving. Otherwise we end up with the yeah. It always takes you a couple of seconds to get used to where the brakes bite. And yeah, I'm probably going to get in trouble, but we're not going to do anything too accurate on this flight. If you're interested, on Thursday nights, my friend and I, Grant's Games and Gears, we are doing a world tour, and we're basically we are now in leg 23, I think. If you look on YouTube, you'll find it on my YouTube channel. The idea really is just an hour or so trips around the world, hour and a half time, and just seeing how far. Just be sightseeing really. Some of the places I've actually been on holiday, but yes, we're in Dubai, heading off towards India soon. So if you want to catch us on Thursdays, it's 7:30 UK time on Twitch, and then we'll stream it afterwards move it onto YouTube so you can see it. Is this actually a runway? It's not a runway, is it? Yeah, oh, it is. Okay, just seemed very short. Okay, that crosswind doesn't look nice. I'll go anyway. What the hell? Mr. Crosswind's with us now. Zoom out of it. Okay, and we'll just do a quick whiz. So, and gear up, because it really drags the plane back. Don't. Flap should be up. Pop outside, make sure that happens. It didn't. So the undercarriage is not working. That's not good, is it? Let's pause that then. I suppose we had to test it. That could be down to the drivers not working. But where would landing gear be? There we go. Gear up, gear down. Kind of says it's working, doesn't it? Cancel. And no, why did we delete it? Okay. Do that. Validate. And we've got, we should have nothing now. Click our input. Validate. Right. Doesn't seem like it should need it actually, but we'll put it in again. Make sure we're on the right profile. I have to say, Saudi Arabia was a long flight. It wasn't so much it was a long flight, but there's an awful lot of desert, and it shows as well. So landing gear. Where's that? Oh, maybe we've got to turn. We're changing planes as we go. Mostly this sort of plane, or PA-28, or the RB-14. I have done it in the Cessnas, the 152 and the 172. So we're literally changing planes as we go. For the longer spell of Saudi, we moved to a Cessna Citation jet just to get it over and done with, because it was just it was likely to be another 3 legs just to get across here. I think if you were doing Australia, it would be a similar problem. But it was interesting in that, you know, it's not all desert, which is fine, but it wasn't. It was time to move on. So we're now going there. Mediterranean was more interesting, more things going on there, and also some of the places you've been on holiday. Even. So why? It's not going to be toggle landing gear, is it? So why haven't we got the rest of them? Try essentials. So gear up, gear down. Okay, so why not put the word landing gear in front of that? Microsoft, Sobo, that would have been good. So gear up. Okay, which is, I'm sure, oh, maybe not. Maybe I didn't say that. No, I'm going to take that. Apply and save. I'm not sure that I changed anything there. So if it works now, that'll be a surprise. No, I think this is a driver thing. Let's turn off active polls just in case that is doing it. Whoop. No, I think that's driver issue, so we'll have to come back to that one. I suppose it's okay. I probably won't bother landing for this one. It's too dodgy. I don't think I should throttle down when I'm doing this. Next stream is on Tuesday night, and the goal on Tuesdays is actually to work through the Flight Simulator X book. Again, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see the last one. It's been really popular actually, which I was surprised. And there, yes, we can fly the plane, but are we flying it right? And that's really the exercise there, is to learn some things about the aircraft. We're looking at coordinated turns, which is, I think it's probably a GA thing more than anything else, but I wasn't too sure the way they described it was correct, but I think I misunderstood, having watched a few guys on YouTube, and okay, I can see what you're trying to do. Right, I just flew away from the airport again, didn't I? What an idiot. So we're coming up to the hour exactly now. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'll see you again on Tuesday. Do drop me a line if you want to go to YouTube and comment there. I'll keep an eye on those comments and have a chat. And I'll see you in the skies.